Thanks
But
for
no,
joining, Jim. I know it's late out there and it's getting close to Christmas, so it's good to check in with you.
it's good to catch up before the holiday.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you said you wanted to talk about an update from our last discussion, um,
Yeah, but before we
but
even get to that, guess what?
before,
A new player has entered the arena.
oh, is he
And
from Gorgon, India?
I don't know. I wasn't given that information, but apparently,
Hmm.
um, the new entrant, I she didn't give me everything. I wonder if he'd already been looking at these franchise, because this has only been posted a couple weeks. But anyway, somehow the guy's already gone to the franchisor and gotten all of the approvals done, and then went to her and was like, "Okay, I'm approved, and I want to buy these two stores from you," according to her. And I said, "Oh, well, I didn't want the second store, but that's interesting because you told me the second store was not like you said only one was for sale." Well, actually, it would be nice to get rid of this. So, yeah, maybe there's a deal to be had with this guy. So, some sort of combo deal for the two stores.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. But then, so that was on, I don't know, that was one day. And so then I guess on Wednesday, yesterday morning, I sort of threw the Hail Mary of, um, in a text message and just said, "Hey, I know you're busy, blah, blah, but Carly and I talked. We're ready to dedicate X number of hours. We're not going to let this fall through the cracks. We're not going to let this, whatever. We're not going to destroy the momentum you've built." I don't know. I tried to be as flowery as you could guess that I could be. Um, and she called me back and was like, "Wow, so you are serious? Then okay, okay. Let me give your information to the franchisor." And then anyway, so things have moved. We got an email back from the franchisor last night. I stayed up late for a few hours, like probably 3 hours, and put together the whole application package. Got that sent over to them last night, and then they replied today. And we're gonna have a call Tuesday.
Okay, with
So,
the owner or just
not with the owner. No, this would
franchise?
be part of the. Yeah, this would just be franchise approval process. So
Do
this
you
is the part
say?
that.
Do you use the word franchisor? Is that a term?
Yeah, yeah, they're
Okay,
the franchisor. We're the franchisee.
got it.
So this would be the part of the process where they say, sure, you might think you have the money, or sure, you think you might be able to run this, but let's have an interview. Show us your numbers. Let's talk about your background and see if we approve you.
Mhm. Now they could also approve you, and then it's really up to the business
So two
owner,
two two big approvals. One is the franchisor, and then there's the landlord.
the landlord. Okay.
So it's kind of a funny to me. It's kind of a funny one because I mean, if she doesn't do anything, the space will go empty, or if she doesn't do anything, she'll stay there. Um, so anyway, but that's, I mean, she just went through this a year ago for the store and said that that's basically those are the two big roadblocks, and if both of those get approved, then all the other little stuff will kind of flow through easily.
Remind me, she's had it for a year, just a little
Uh,
over a year.
yeah, close to 18 months, I think.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yep.
So she went through, yeah, the early part of last year.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
got it.
it was built in 19. She
Mm-hmm.
took it over somewhere like April or May of 22.
Mm-hmm.
And
Got it.
I guess, so if this goes through by the time we close, it would be almost 2 years that she
Mm-hmm.
had it.
All right. Is this process? Well, I guess it's different. Once your current business was new, you didn't take over, right? Even though the space you technically took over an existing space.
Right.
Yeah. So that
It's
was
very similar.
different.
I mean,
It is
it,
similar.
it's
Okay.
very similar. Yeah, the paperwork is like, I mean, it was like a 12-part um, checklist, right? So I put together a little presentation of like, links to this, links to that, PDF, this, and so it was
Hmm.
all like, a resume, a background, summary of tax returns, things like that. Um,
Yeah. So you would
some stuff.
imagine the landlord wouldn't care that much.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
So in some way, hopefully, it's. I mean, yeah, it looks pretty similar to what we did, except yeah, the one difference is it's definitely geared towards a builder, not a transfer. So it's some of the questions are like, what are you going to do to, I don't know, to market the store? And it's like, I don't know. I guess I told Carly I feel a lot more confident having been through this once now. Like there were certain questions where I was like, I'm not like,
Mhm.
I probably would have felt before like I needed to come up with something and say, well, okay, it's not a new store, but let me tell them my marketing plan. And now I'm like, yeah, I don't need to. I'm not going to waste the time to say all that.
You didn't want to
Exactly.
waste your time, or you didn't want to put a plan in unnecessarily,
I did.
or
Yeah. Sorry.
you didn't find it valuable? Is that what to them?
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't find it valuable at this point in time. Yeah, I guess maybe that's a better way. I'm trying to be too cocky. I took it as I would rather get them 95% of the answers back in 3 hours to show how serious I am.
There you go.
And then when they say, wait, you didn't talk about your marketing plan, then I could try to be all,
Yeah.
oh, well, sure, let's talk about that. But I didn't think that would make or break my application. Maybe it
Sure,
will.
I got you. Okay, because I thought if you didn't have time, yeah, it didn't make sense. Knowing you, because you could have used ChatGPT, and I know you would have if you
Yeah.
thought it was worth it. So you just decided it was not worth it for the number of questions you had to go through. The checklist, you want to show that you were driven and you wanted to respond quickly.
Yeah.
That's what that was more. Yeah,
Right. I wanted to show that I've got a handle on all these important facts and
yeah.
figures. And
The other stuff is more important to you, and you want to wow them with that.
yeah, it was good. And it was good too, right? Then I talked to the owner this morning and she's like, wow, you already finished it. That's great. You guys really are all in on this. I'm like, yeah, we really are.
Yeah.
Like I've been trying to tell you.
So what are you going to do until Tuesday?
Just, relax. I don't know.
Oh, so the visit walkthrough will be
No,
paused until.
no, I'm just kind of kidding. So Saturday,
Oh,
she says she's gonna have her lawyer draft a share and purchase, or sorry, asset purchase agreement, right, or a sale agreement. And so we're gonna meet for a few minutes together on Saturday and
hmm,
go through that.
okay. She's drafting it for you and potentially the other.
And her, yeah.
And the
Oh,
other
sorry, yeah, sorry, yeah, potentially, yeah,
yeah,
probably,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, version Leander, version Austin, right?
Mhm. Oh, that's
So
right, right. Because the assumption is, yeah, the other buyer, potential buyer, has to have wants to, or she wants to get rid of two. Yeah,
she wants to get
gotcha.
rid of, yeah, potentially too. Although I hadn't actually mapped it until we were talking through the second person coming in, and I hadn't realized it's uh it's in the same strip as the North Austin Kid to Kid. The second store that she's now says she's ready to sell.
Oh, okay.
So there was a brief moment in my head of like, is it worth, if it's like 40 or 50 grand, is it worth it for competitive intelligence?
Yeah, I see. I see.
But so yeah, so
But you knew that you would have already. You already
I
knew
mean,
the
I could
second
have, I could
story.
have mapped. I mean,
Oh, she just didn't
it was
bother.
it was more just like real time. She's telling it to me, and I'm like,
Yeah,
and she's like, well, would you be interested? No, we're not interested at all. She
gotcha.
tried to In the call, she tried to say, oh, and I talked to the other guy in South Austin. He's got a manager. Maybe you're more interested in that. And I said, no, 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 we don't want something that far away. I didn't tell her where exactly Once Upon is, but
Mhm.
um, I said, nope. I said, one of the big factors in this deal is how close it is. So,
To
and
your house.
it's close to us. It's close to our community. We could leverage it and go talk to our kids' schools and activities and all that good stuff. So,
Mhm.
yep. So we'll start looking at that. I will probably share that with you and Justin just to give me a second pair of eyes. I imagine it won't be too, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what kind of lawyer she's got, but I know we put together some drafts for didn't we put together a draft for donuts? Or was that just the LOI? Did we not draft an agreement?
Probably. Yeah, I imagine we did. Yeah, it was pretty ballsy of us.
Yeah. Man, we were ready to pay 100K for 100,000 in revenue.
No, remember I double checked and I was wrong about that. It was it's like 198, 220, and 240 or
Okay.
something. Yeah, so I was wrong.
Oh, okay. So that is closer. Yeah, her final. She's got this other income piece, but yeah, without that, it's like 260.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so yeah. How about you? Any You've had some time to think about it since our last call. I would say you were relatively quiet last week. You got any comments or thoughts? Have you thought of any deal breakers or hurdles I need to be?
Oh, no, still nothing came to mind since, even after I was rewatching our last discussion. Yeah, nothing uh, to stop you. Couldn't think of anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
If
not. It's
after you shared the P&L, I'm just gonna open it again. The opportunity seemed well, as we always seem to find something like there's obvious opportunities um, that you and Carly are likely to do well in already, like advertising and
mm.
expanding milkshakes. I mean, come on, isn't that easy? I'm just kidding. Like an easy upsell in my mind, or I mean, as silly as I said, like candles just surprised me. I wonder how. I
I
mean,
know she sold like one candle,
yeah,
maybe not.
at
But
least unless she changed her bookkeeper and they said, hey, we should just put it under other. I just thought
yeah,
only one candle for a
yeah, I know.
year.
You've got something called other that's like 100x that, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, candles, balloons, sparklers, delivery. Well, yeah, that's not part of sales, but yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was thinking. Accessories.
yeah. I don't know what the benefit is to have all that split. I mean,
Yeah.
one interesting thing is,
But even if you did split it out, it seems 5,000 would be small, right? For others for a whole year. Just seems
yeah,
small.
I thought it was interesting too. I can't remember if I told you guys that verbally she had said, "Oh, this is an ice cream store," but when you look at the number, I mean, maybe it's 60/40, but purely cookies and cookie cakes is like 90, right? And just ice cream cones is 90. So it's not, I mean, yeah, you've got some ice cream cakes, but then you've got some cookie dough or whatever. So it feels more balanced than I feel like she led us to believe. I mean, that it's not good or bad.
Mhm.
It's just,
Mm. Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
was expecting to not see any ice cream.
yeah, it's anyway, I think it's good. So this isn't an ask. It's more it's a philosophical. So now that you've seen the P&L, would you invest? Mark Cuban me.
Mark Cuban, you.
I don't know. Shark Tank me.
I didn't
I'm
even
off,
think of that
I'm,
that
off, I'm,
way.
off, I'm offering 20K for a 20% equity. Would you do it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Good.
now let me take a
You get to make you feel
deeper
comfortable
look.
for, huh?
Yeah, I would write off I mean, there was no automobile expense, so I'd write off my Tesla there. You got some easy advertising expenses for growth. Uh, I mean, from what you've said and what you've shared, it seems pretty reasonable to invest that much. Yeah,
Yeah.
for that equity. I know you were just. I would imagine you just threw it out there, but yeah, it seems to make sense. Yeah, the down. What is it? There doesn't seem to be a big downside. There doesn't seem to be an obvious downside.
Yeah, I was gonna say I mean, I told y'all last week, I'm assume this won't ever grow. So yeah, to me the biggest downside is um, you know, time to run it, you know,
Mhm,
um, lack of people, right? If suddenly everybody quits. And
mhm,
then I don't know, negative. would you say external something, or I don't know, something that, you know, opens up or happens and greatly reduces demand, obviously. But
Yeah. I want is the rent per square foot in line with what you would have expected?
um, I need to. That's an outstanding action, is for her to send me a copy of the lease agreement. Because yeah, I can't tell you what the full. When I walk in, I know it's smaller than our current store, but I can't. It's hard for me to eyeball. Is it, you know, is it like 20 feet by 40 feet? It doesn't feel big.
Hmm.
So it's going to be. I'm guessing it's probably going to be like $40 to $50 per square foot per year, right? And we're paying like $25 for a 3,000 square foot space, right? But if you're 1,500 square foot, yeah, your dollar per square foot is going to be higher. So
And I didn't ask, or I guess usually Justin would ask these kind of questions. But was there any other vacancy in that location? Just out of
um
curiosity.
so we've got a Korean Japanese restaurant, we've got a pizzeria, we've got a dentist, we've got a UPS, we've got a little family medical practice, we've got a nail and hair salon. I think there might be one occupancy there. And then sort of
Mm.
off the strip mall, there's a little auto repair shop. Or not, I'm sorry, service center. It looks like more of a tire and service center.
What time does it close on weekdays?
It is 1 to 9. No, sorry, 1 to 8 on the weekdays, and then it's like 12 to 9 on the weekends.
Hmm. You just said Korean Japanese. I know. Is it a big restaurant?
1, 2, 3, 4. Probably about 15 tables.
Oh, not so big. Not that it
Big enough. I
matters.
mean, they've got a little, like, you know, sushi preparations, you know, like little lines.
Sushi
So
bar.
sushi bar. Yeah.
You can sit there.
No,
Oh, never mind.
that's why I didn't call it a bar.
Yeah,
It feels
gotcha.
like it's more like, look at us, but you can't really sit in front.
Yeah. Again, I don't have a good frame for this, but yeah, the rent just seemed like a big number to
Yeah.
me. Um, so yeah, I know you just eyeballed it. It just seemed like a big number for what you
Yeah.
said they sell.
Yeah, and I still need to get with the person we worked with. She actually does deals in Cedar Park, the person that helped us with Once Upon. So um, I need to get with her and see if she's got anything to say about it. But
Mhm.
I mean, just looking at I have had a look on Biz Buy Sell and looked at other companies for sale, and I would just say, like, rent to dollars ratio, which I know makes no sense, but it kind of looks similar. I don't know.
Mhm. I got you. Yeah. I wonder.
Although there was a pizzeria for sale for like 100, it said revenue was like 150,000 and the rent was like 7,000. And then they had no other numbers. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
that's not good.
yeah. In my head, a pizzeria would be big, but then if you said it's takeout only, just a
Yeah.
7K might be a little high. Ah, thinking about
Um,
our idol Travis Kalanick, did you ever think did you ever think that there's opportunities for cloud kitchening some of this stuff, or adding using like a cloud kitchen to get more items in here?
I mean, maybe there's, I think I told y'all, maybe there's, well,
Oh,
sorry, let me
you
just,
forgot
stupid answer.
there.
But there is another franchise that some people already thought you could squeeze in there. It's a pretzel franchise
That's
under
right.
the same
Yeah.
umbrella.
Hmm.
So there's that one. They do seem to. She didn't split up the sales for DoorDash, but I think, like you and I were chatting, um, I think it's sizable, and that is where she gets a lot of tips.
Hmm.
There's definitely an opportunity to play with marketing, and there's plenty of restaurants these days that set up a so-called, you know, just some other different named restaurant and sell the same sandwiches, burgers, pizza, whatever. Um, so there would be an opportunity maybe to do that. But if you're talking more like, mom's muffins or something like that, and try to figure out a way to squeeze that into the oven, I haven't thought through that far yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's going back to the original question. It's not obvious that it would be a bad opportunity.
Okay. Yeah, so now that's based on,
Yeah, I was wrong about this year, but going into next year, I keep thinking, minimize the downside risk, especially for next year. But looks like I'll be wrong again. But that's how I would think about it.
in which
I
way?
mean,
You're
like
talking about metals and
it's
stuff? Or?
oh no, sorry, yeah, recession proofing
Oh,
going through next year. This ice cream. I mean, you and I, when we get depressed, and if there's a recession, we'll eat more ice cream. So I'd imagine most of the public is like that. So it's
yeah.
recession proof, and a little deflation probably wouldn't hurt your cogs.
Okay, so that's you kind of looking at the rear view mirror or just looking at the numbers sense. Okay, now put people into the equation. What do you now would you invest the 20K knowing it's me and Carly running it?
Oh, for sure. I have the
Ah,
utmost confidence in both of you guys. No, why
okay.
not?
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to get you on. I'm just trying to get you on video so that once the video's over and I ask you for the
Oh,
meal,
yeah.
easy ask.
Well, I mean, I think one of the things why we're good friends and why one of the few things I admire you about is I know you would not give up. That's right. So, I mean, that's what we want to look at in a founder. I mean, not a founder. What are you? Yeah, in a
Yeah,
business COO.
COO or a CEO. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I did think that. By the way, sidebar, that was funny. In the application, there was a little part where it was like, who's going to be the CEO of this operation? Who's going to be the COO day to day of this operation? Which I thought was nice, nice little way to word it.
Mm-hmm. And how'd you
Um,
guys decide that? Or you just said NA?
no, I just put me for both for now.
Yeah.
I don't know what the. I mean, it feels like the numbers feel too good to me. Something just feels like it's not gonna. I don't know what's gonna pop up.
Hmm.
I can tell you
Yeah.
the average sales of these stores, right, is in the 400 to 500 range.
Where'd you get that
So
number?
the financial disclosure form that I got last night. So she's in the bottom. It wasn't quartile. It wasn't she. I'm so sorry. She from the franchisor. She sent
Oh,
me the franchise disclosure.
this opportunity. Yeah, this store is in the bottom quartile.
I think yeah, I'd say bottom quintile. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm saying it's an extra
Yeah,
level.
that is
Um,
true.
so so anyway, there is that upside potential.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I guess the thing that sits in the back of my mind is like, I've been pretty humbled by Once Upon. Carla and I
Mhm.
felt pretty strongly like, what's the worst we could do? Are we going to be at least as good as the average? Come on, we've been better than average our whole lives, and yeah, we're not close to average at all in terms of the metrics.
Mhm.
Um, and even saying that, and then when I see some of the people in our Facebook group, there's people that are like, I don't know, they're way above average in terms of sales, and they're having growth rates that are double the average. So like you would expect me and Carly to at least have good growth rates because we're so small, right? Every few customers is just, on a small base, but some of these guys are growing from like 1.5 million to 2 million this year.
Mm.
Uh, and so we thought, oh, we're 19% growth, woo, and these guys are almost double us.
Yeah, I
Um,
see.
it's
Bravo
still hard.
to them.
In my brain, like, well, are they in a small town? Are they the only one? Or what about? So anyway, all that stuff just sort of clouds my mind of like, the numbers look good here, but what am I missing?
What's like the two things you want to get out of the Tuesday meeting, other than
Oh,
approval? I mean,
I
I
was going to say,
assume you're gonna
yeah.
have some questions for them.
Um,
Like, do you want to know what kind of support they have, or the store's been in the lower quintile for a year or longer?
yeah.
What have you guys done to support them, or do you just leave
Yeah, I mean,
leaving.
I guess yeah, thank you. I haven't thought through that, but yeah, there would be a question of like, yeah, it is in the bottom. It's gone through some tough times because of the previous owner. Yeah, and what do you guys expect out of this? That is a difference. It seems like I was scanning through the disclosure. There's no such thing as protected territories, so that is a potential downside. I mean, they call it out. Hey, we might set up new stores or new concepts that might compete with you. Um, So, and there's still going to be a cookie store 5 miles away in Cedar Park, right? And
Mhm.
so, as nice as we're being right now to sell the store, it could suddenly become pretty cutthroat post transaction.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that's a good point. I got to think more holistically about that.
80 to 90 in Leander and Cedar Park, 100,000 people. So it's, I mean, we're not
Mhm.
saying like, yeah, could you serve both? Yeah, she probably has been, but at the same, I think there's more than enough market for
Mhm.
either or.
Yeah. Do, is the owner willing to sell both stores separately? For example, the other buyer, you think there's an chance that they'll just take that one?
Not
Or
sure.
would you care if that happened?
So you mean if we got the one in Leander and the other guy
Mhm.
got the other two stores?
Mhm.
Um, what I guess let me would it change my decision?
Yeah, that's a better way. Would it change
Not
your
yet.
decision?
Not yet. That's where I'm trying to check my own like cockiness and like, oh, this is too good. Like if we were talking a break even case or like, okay, this is close, but give us 2 years and we'll make something of it. Like, yeah, then that's where I would start to draw the line. But this feels like, I mean, we're talking about, okay, let's pretend that we hire a manager next year, or let's pretend we pay everybody $15 and bring in a bunch of adults, or let's
Mhm.
pretend we lay on all this marketing and give away all these freebies. Like, oh man, it's still a great ROI. So, like, yeah, I mean, I haven't done the full like variable cost Excel yet. Sorry, model in Excel. So I can't tell you like, oh, I mean, maybe if we drop 200 to 200, I don't know. If we drop 20% of sales, right? Then would we be at break even? Something like that. I need to figure out what that is and see if I'm comfortable with that level.
Like no, like if let's say in your scenario sales go down about 20%, you couldn't make up that 20% by working more hours there. I
Mm.
mean just to cover the labor, not the creative hours that you would put in. You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It seems like she's really got it down to the bone. They've really got
Mhm.
it down to the bone. It's tough. I mean, I did ask him the question. I said, "Hey," because they seem to have asked me a lot, like, in case you're thinking of a manager, and I've said, "Hey, that's not how we're going to work it. We don't want to just start by putting them like we're not at that level of business owner yet. So, we expect we're going to have to get in and spend some significant time, learn the business, learn the workflow, blah blah blah." Um, so I've tried to make that clear, which I think we will do. But I did say, "Hey, at these economics, you know, did I'm not trying to throw shade, but this wasn't worth it for you to, hire a 50K manager and just let them run it and you just sort of focus on the other ones." And they said no.
Hmm.
So sounds like they both gave up it's a couple and they gave up their jobs to go full in on this. And um, I've been trying to use this as a teaching moment with my kids because there was a comment about, well, you just live according to your salary and you spend what you make. And so we've got to get back to that level. So
Who says that?
the seller. So it
Oh,
sounds like
okay.
pre-business, they had a certain double income.
Oh, I see. I see.
Sounds like with 3 stores, even this one looking very profitable, they're still not there, but their
Mhm.
lifestyle is still based on the
Mm.
pre-business.
Mhm.
So
So share the was so what's the teaching moment to your kids? I mean, that's what this is about, right?
yeah, I said this is why you gotta. Well, yeah, I'm just talking about the path to independence, the financial independence, and how to
Mhm.
plan for retirement and early retirement, even, right? How to spend below your means, how to stay off the hedonic treadmill, all those good, catchy, cliche things.
Poor kids.
I know. But no, then I actually talked to another friend the other day, and we're talking about starting up something related to gas consulting. And so he was like, so how are your numbers work? Because he's been trying to do something for 8 months and nothing's working. And he's like, man, it sounds like you're doing so well. And how's it going? And so I was like, listen, I don't want to like mislead you. Let me tell you the raw numbers, right? Last year was 0. This year is half of what I made last year at my last company. And he's like, wait, but how? How can you do that? And I said, we've been preparing as a family to run this for years. Like, yeah, our expenses are still fine in that level of salary. I don't know what to tell. Sorry. I didn't want to get all like Dave Ramsey and be like, tell me, or Ramit and be like, what percentage of your expenses are fixed cost, buddy? Maybe you need to work on that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. So you use it as a teaching moment for your kids, but not for your friend.
Yeah, I'm not that close yet. I don't know. The financial feels tough. I felt tough talking to you and Justin about that.
Why? Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. I just asked the right leading questions and then.
Yeah, and you get my.
Let's say there's this guy.
Pretend I'm your 12-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
It's like ChatGPT prompts. Jim, pretend I'm this. In the voice of a father.
But good. I'm glad you could use it as a teaching moment for the kids. I would definitely say my situation has been good for Mike, at least Liam. He's been very thoughtful of it. Like even today, he goes, "You're not working anymore, so we understand." Like, understand what? What do you mean I'm not working anymore?
Understand what?
Yeah. Amelie goes around saying, "Yeah, my dad's not working anymore." It's like, huh? She said that at the dance class the other couple weeks ago. That's what Victoria said.
Who's she trying to tell? I mean,
She's just trying to tell new things that's going on to her friends and the teacher, and things that are new. Yeah, friends that passed away. Then she tells them that's happened, that sort of thing.
Well, it's not that. I don't know if I know it's a little different, but I know that Carly was humbled recently when one of Cameron's best friends said something like, "Oh, I know what your mom does. She's a shopkeeper." And Carly was like,
"Is she from England?"
I know. Yeah, that was a weird choice of words, but even then it felt more diminutive. Like at least say she's the store manager or something. Yeah, I will say the people that like the people that don't know the business. This guy that I'm talking to, he's up in the Northeast, but we were talking through some of it and some of the numbers, and I was like, yeah, we've got like at some point I could tell he wasn't really understanding. I was like, we've got like 20 to 22 people on staff. He's like, what? That's much more complex than I realized, So anyway, I think seems like a lot of people still kind of think of it as like a little boutique shop, not this like, mid-market, high volume throughput kind of operation.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're humbling them.
I don't know. I'm just trying to say, I'm just trying to assume that little girl's mom was like, oh, she was thinking of it as she probably said, oh, Cameron's mom is a shopkeeper because it's probably her and just her.
Just so you know, I've been driving this car even when my husband and I were making 3 times the salary. Okay.
Dents and all.
Yeah. We downsized even though we were making more money.
I know. Yeah. Always ready. Had to always be ready.
Yeah. I would say when people are still, when they heard about the news, like, man, yeah, you got bills and stuff. I said, yeah, the rent. And that's it. And it's like, and then I had to be careful. It's like, yeah, groceries, right? It's like, but they were thinking, student loans and line of credit and car, especially the car. Yeah.
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 But
Yeah.
thank
Most people
God.
are going to have like 3 out of 4, like, yeah, car, education, house, and I don't know, some credit card debt, right? Two out of 4, if not 3 out of 4, right?
Hmm. Yeah.